Hey y'all, growing up, I was truly beloved by my grandmothers, both of my grandmothers. And one of the things that they both told me was I would always have what I desired when I chose to use my voice. My voice has gotten me in so much trouble over the course of my life. I was made to believe that my thoughts didn't matter. I was made to feel as if just saying how I felt was a problem. Imagine that. They always both told me that I had so many gifts, and when I chose to lean into them, everything would work out for me. Now that I'm grown, even though my maternal grandmother has been gone since I was 18 years old, for over 20 years, my dad's mom has been gone for a very long time as well. Actually, they both died within 3 years of each other, actually. That's crazy. Maybe 4. It was pretty close together. It was before I just really understood myself. Honestly, with everything that's happened over the course of the last 3 years, I'm starting to realize that all that stuff was happening for my good. It was all a blessing. Every single one of those things. One of the things I say all the time is understanding is not linear. There are so many things that you can know in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit, but not quite comprehend. Sometimes your understanding can come from a stranger. Sometimes your understanding can come from a dream. Sometimes even just an experience. Maybe it's going to come from having so many series of unfortunate events happening to the point where you realize you gotta stop trying to have the control. That's me all I know. I'm realizing that my life truly is a reflection of my beliefs. The fact that I always knew that my power came from speaking my truth. No matter how much trouble I got into, no matter how many times, even in the army, I had a do not care attitude. It's not that I didn't care. It was that I didn't believe what they were saying. You can't tell someone that they're weak that knows that they're strong. Imagine how much strength it takes to speak back your truth when you're getting cussed out, yelled at, and abused, but you still do it. That's a different kind of strength. Most people will lean into, I'm just going to do what they say because I don't want to get in trouble. I was the person that was like, well, it's just trouble. I've been yelled at before. What are they going to do? Throw something at me, hit me, cuss me out? Ugh, I'm so scared. That's what they wanted. Nah. Took a little bit more than that, but nah. In all truth, I see their point. I see what they were trying to teach. But I also realized that strong-willedness is a gift. It's a gift. Life will reflect what you believe about yourself. Your life is a reflection of how you think, how you feel, what you believe, what you do, and what lens you see life. Do you see everything that happens to you as a lesson or a blessing? Or do you feel like everything's always going wrong? It's always their fault. They did it. They said it. They acted. They. That is they fault. Oh my gosh, it was so uncomfortable to say. I am on this understanding of I am the reason why this is happening. I am the reason why this is going to change. I can fix this. I might need to leave that alone. I need to move on from here because clearly I'm not seen as the blessing that I am and is. I'm understanding that there are so many facets of life where I just needed to let go. One of Mildred's favorite things to sing was Be Still. I feel like she's around me so much because even this morning when I woke up, I heard her singing, and she had this very deep, raspy singing voice. If you heard it, you would never be able to forget it. The song Be Still. Be still, God will fight your battles, be still. And God will fight your battles, be still. God will fight your battles, God will fight your battles if you just be still. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. So be still. Be still. God will fight your battle. Be still. I get it now, Grandma. It's not just a battle of something physical. What if your battle is mental? My battle was literally, clearly mental. Be still, Markette. Understand that it's already working out for you. It is happening for you, not to you, Markette. It is all working out for your good, Markette. That's what I needed to hear. Same thing for you. It is not happening to you. It is happening for you. It is all working out for you. You just have to understand that it's not something that you can understand now. You'll understand it later. Life is lived forward, understood backwards. So, when you understand that everything is always working out for your good, think of it of like this 50,000 piece puzzle with the box that is blank. You have no idea what goes where, but you know it all fits together, right? Because you believe it all fits together, right? Yeah. So some people are like, I'm just going to start. Other people are like, okay, I'm going to find all the edge pieces and I'm going to put them in a pile. And then I'm going to create piles based off of which ones look similar. Yeah, that is how I approach puzzles in life, clearly. The easiest way to do it is to believe that eventually you're going to see the big picture because it is already designed to be finished. It was already once a completed picture. You just don't see it yet. So if you approach your life like you do a massive puzzle and you start with the end pieces, because those end pieces are the way that you move, those steps that you're taking towards becoming that better version of you, you're going to be like, okay, this is the edge piece. It's got a straight line. Oh, you know what? Let's find out the corner pieces. So now we're literally gathering all the corners. There should be 4 corners, right? Yeah, rectangle puzzle, 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're laid out. We don't know how big this puzzle is, but we're going to have an area that is super massive so that way we can always push the corners together or pull them further apart based off of as we find these pieces. Right? That's your beliefs. Your beliefs, they can flex, they can change, but they're always there. Just like the borders of the puzzle. They're always there. You're just not ready to see the whole picture. So now, as you're filling in these edges, you're starting to have structure to your beliefs. Now you know the exact size of what you have to do. That's your positive mindset. Now you're leaning into your positive mindset, and you know that everything is going to work out for you, because now you've already done the hard part. You've got the border done. You can literally, now you know this is your end. Now you have your end in mind, because now you see that the borders are fully constructed. You've made it past the disbelief. You've made it past the self-doubts. Now, all that's left is success, right? Right. So how do you approach the next steps? You remember those piles I was telling you about? You don't know what they are, but they all look similar. Those are your daily habits. Those are those micro habits that you're changing in life. So now you can say, okay, these all look like grapes. These all kind of look like a wall. These all look like a face. These all look like whatever they look, a building. Okay? And I know that out of each one of these piles that's already been stacked out, they're all going to go together somewhere within the border of the frame, right? All right, you're still following me. Great. So now you're going to take and scan the border. Why? Because there's always little clues that these pieces are going to fit somewhere near this frame. It could be a little piece of a grape. It could be a little piece of the wall. It could be a little piece of a face or a hair, anything, but there's always context clues that they are all going to be in those spots. So how does that work in life? Synchronicities. You're going to end up getting to go to that concert you always wanted. You're going to end up having that free meal that you told yourself, which for me was dinner with strangers, randomly at the museum that you had a membership to, that you were brazen enough to be like, there's an event tonight. I'm just going to go to it. I don't have a ticket. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? They're going to tell me yes. That's the mindset, belief, and it all worked out, right? Right. That's finding those pieces that are of the wall, of the hair, of the grape, and starting from those points. You don't need to figure out the whole picture. You just need to know where those points are. And as you're taking the small chunks and they're starting to create little pieces, and you're like, oh, this really is a bushel of grapes. This is the wall, and it is in the left corner. Oh, this part and this part seem like they align. So now we're going to start pushing those pieces into place. Those are your daily habits, starting to create the picture. Pat yourself in the back. You kept along. You're still tracking. So now, the only thing that's left to do is be still, believe, and know it's all working out and it's all coming together. So you're like, Markette, how are you putting the puzzle together but you're being still? Because now you're not in this frantic mindset of, it's not going to work out. How can I make this work? How can I make this better? How can I be better? What do I need to do next? Now you're like, these go here, 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 these goes here. I know they're going to work out because they're already starting to form this picture. I don't need to know where. I don't need to know the whole picture, but at this point, it's just starting to go faster and faster and faster and faster. So what are all those things? Those are all the synchronicities that are starting to come together in your life. Those are the random invites. Those are the random opportunities. Those are your viewership numbers skyrocketing. Those are your monetization starting to pay out. Those are opportunities coming to you with ideas. Everything is just working out to your good, and now you're just keep putting them together. And then all of a sudden one day you're gonna just wake up and like, wow, it all worked out. So as this puzzle, that's your last little piece. and you push it in the center, because I always like to try to save the centerpiece. I don't know, maybe that's me being a weirdo, but I think it's awesome. Just got the last piece of the puzzle all together. So first you're like, oh, I'm done with the puzzle. But then you're gonna be like, but I'm done with the puzzle. I finally see the big picture. That is when your life all comes together. That's when you finally have the understanding, the comprehension. And you started with knowing that it's all gonna finish, and now you're finished, and now you're in this place of happiness, of joy, because you enjoyed the process of putting it together. So what was the whole picture, you ask? Well, let's think of it like this. You had the wall, you had the grape, you had the hair, you had the person, you had all these little things. So the picture I created in my head that I started with the end in mind, we're starting with this story, was there was a woman. She was in Paris, France. She was sitting at a table against a brick wall eating grapes, but she noticed that a particular bushel of the grapes looked really pretty. So she held it up to the light as she looked up to her hand and seen the light refracting off of the shiny grapes. So what's the big picture in your life? What are your goals in life? How do you see the end in mind? What do you feel like you need to do to take steps towards that big picture? How can you shift your mindset to be still and let God fight the battles of your heart, of your mind, of your soul? Where in this do you want to go? Write it out. Believe it. Take steps towards your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and know that no matter what anyone says, it's all working out for you. Use those gifts. No matter how much you get in trouble for it, no matter how many people doubt you, no matter how many people are like, I think you're crazy, I think you're weird. Honestly, start saying, you know what? I'm a little crazy, I'm a little weird, I'm very whimsical. I am an enigma. I am not to be understood by a small-minded person anyway. And move along. How about that? When you understand that the greatest minds were never understood in their time, the greatest minds would never be understood by a small thinking person, it gives you the joy of knowing that you stepped out of the matrix. You're not what people expected, and that is always exceptional. So take that as, yay! And remember to win. Remember that your wins aren't a bank account number. Your wins aren't just a job title. Your wins are compounded, and your joy comes from taking every moment as you come across it and finding pleasure in pushing in each one of those pieces. Tell yourself, in all things, these are working towards the good. In all things, these are working towards what I want, I desire, and I hope for. And find joy, find peace, find happiness in the journey. And that will bring you to your place of understanding. I hope this helps you understand that it's all working out. All right, later, y'all.